Over the last few weeks, we've been seeing that Bitcoin has a massive amount of control over the rest of the market. Now, this is very common. When we enter into these downtrends, we will see that Bitcoin, when it goes down, it's pulling the rest of the market with it, and when it goes up, it's pulling the rest of the market with it. And so what that means is that we need to be paying very, very close attention to what is going on the Bitcoin charts. And so for that reason, in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin. We're going to be taking a look at a structure that is going to break within 5 days, and it is going to tell us a lot about where crypto is going in the short term, midterm, possibly long term, and how does this benefit us or how could this possibly hurt us. So with that being said, of course, let's go ahead and let's get straight into it. So what we're looking at on Bitcoin is the fact that it's seeing an interaction between two key levels of resistance and a very strong level of support. Now, resistance level number 1 is going to be this macro trend in which we've been in since we've been, realistically the beginning of December. We put in this all-time high, and since then we've come back up to retest this trend line multiple times. Well, as we do that, of course, that is going to be established as the first trend line of our, our retracement, okay? Now, it's very important that we break that eventually, obviously, because once we see a break of that trend line, generally speaking, that'll be the first real attempt that we will get in order for the price to start to see a retracement and a reversal back to the top side. Now, not only are we seeing an interaction there happening extremely soon, but we have an interaction happening as well on a key level of resistance that was previously support. Now, it is very bearish when you see SR flips. What that means is when you see a previous level of support flip into resistance, that is generally bearish, but it is not a 100% guaranteed the market's going to crash. But what we can see is that as we did enter into this downtrend, we put in low number 1, we put in low number 2 to create the bottom side of this descending wedge. And as we did break to the bottom side, you can see that we then started to use that as resistance now as we are struggling to recapture it. Now, as we are running into these two levels of resistance, we have a key level of support holding us up to continue to allow us to try to fight our way out of this thing. And that's going to be this previous level of course, we put in a high back here in May, we put in a high back here in September. And as we did that, it gave us this level of support in which we are now using to try to fight our way back above these levels of resistance. So right now it's a battle. I mean, it is a back and forth dribble effect, like boom, 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 in which we're just constantly attempting to break to one side or another, and we are running out of time. We only have 5 days left before this happens. And again, I do believe that this is going to have a significant impact on the market once we finally see a break to the upside or to the downside. So now I kind of want to talk about, now that you know what we're looking out for, I want to talk about what I think is going to happen and how it affects the market one way or another. Obviously, I don't have a crystal ball. Technical analysis is realistically just an evaluation of the realm of possibilities, meaning that I will just tell you what's possible and tell you what I think is more likely. But of course, none of this is going to be 100% guaranteed. But what we can see happening at the moment is a few bullish things that tell me that there's a strong chance we could see an uptrend continue. Now, first thing is going to be the fact that we are seeing some bullish divergence on the charts as we do approach a quote-unquote oversold territory. Now, on the RSI, you can see here that we set a low, and we came up to now set a higher low in some type of possible reversal pattern, is where on the price we started to see a low and a lower low. Now, this divergence between lower low and higher low is going to be bullish divergence. And when you pair that with the fact that we are below 40 on the RSI, that means that we definitely are seeing a bit of bullish momentum on the RSI, which as long as we do not break the bottom side of the support, we definitely could be seeing a rather large correction back to the upside. Okay, we could see a rather large move to the upside there. Now, one thing we can also see is as that time is approaching in which we could be looking at that happening, we can also see that a daily MACD cross is almost there, right? If we see maybe 1 or 2 more green days, we're looking at a possible bullish MACD cross in which our blue EMA slides right up through our orange EMA. And if that does happen, that will be the first time that we've seen it realistically since we set the new all-time high. And that could be a fantastic sign to say that this downtrend in which we've been looking at is also coming to a close. So considering the fact that both of our massive indicators are telling us that we could be looking at a reversal soon, as well as the fact that we are approaching a key apex of some type of wedge, some type of triangle here, it tells us that it's almost seemingly like the favor is in the hands of the bulls, that we could see this break to the upside based off our indicators. Now, again, anything can happen in this market, nothing is guaranteed, and we very easily could see the break to the downside. But considering the fact that we are seeing some of these bullish signs popping up, we definitely need to keep a very close eye on that because that could be a good sign of strength there. Now, the last thing that I am paying close attention to is that if we do see a break to the downside, it is going to get extremely critical, okay? Because remember, we are banking on the fact that Bitcoin will not come down and lose this level of support at $39,826. If we see that happen, we can go ahead and say that there's a strong chance that the whole ideology between us putting in a 5 wave, a 1, a 2, 3, and then a 4, and then some type of 5 at some new all-time high, that starts to become less and less likely once we set a new structural lower low. We need to put in a higher low in order for this thing to continue, and if not, we definitely could be in a little bit more danger than I had presumed we were maybe about a week ago or about 10 days ago roughly. So what that means for us is that based off of our VPVR, it also shows that if we lose this level that we are at right now, there's a massive cliff right here, okay? This is a massive price cliff. And what that means is that the amount of volume that we would need to hold us up is not there. It's just simply not there. We don't have that average volume in this region. And what that likely means is that we fall back down into this valley, somewhere towards this $42,000 range, which puts us very close to setting a lower low. So if we break to the downside, expect the rest of the market to start to get a little bit panicky. They're probably going to freak out because we're approaching a very critical moment. And so if the prices do start to fall, do anticipate a lot of our other alts will likely see that drop too. But overall, it does seem like the momentum is bullish. It seems like people are starting to get this whole idea that we need to set that higher low. And hopefully, of course, with the help of the whales or the manipulation or whatever happens, we do see this break of trend here. If we see this break of trend here, do anticipate a pullback, do anticipate a retracement back to the downside as we do get a breakout. But as long as we can go up and set a new high towards $53,000, $52,000, I would go ahead and say that that is the start of the reversal that we've been looking for. So this is getting crucial. I mean, we're about running out of time. We're getting right up to the point that we need to see this big move happen, and I'm expecting it within less than 5 days. So do stay tuned, pay close attention. We're going to take a look at some individual alts later today, but I wanted to let you guys know what's happening in the broad market so you really know what to expect over the next week or so. So with that being said, of course, that's going to be about it for today's video. Of course, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, you can let me know by smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.